Hey guys, two words. Underrated. 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 We're going to talk about West Virginia, and that's what they should chant. The fans should chant that. Underrated. We're going to talk about it. What do you think, guys? Underrated. I was thinking about what are we going to talk about Friday, and what sparked this is the list. The list, guys. The list came out. The preseason list for the Big 12. Underrated. That's the only thing I can say. 14 last year. Okay. The Big 12 took a big dookie right on West Virginia's turf and just said, you guys are garbage. You're 14. This year, guys, they got a backhanded compliment. I don't know. We'll have to see. Hey, Jackson Johnson, what's up? So, Jackson, I'm having a little bit of sound. I hear things sound a little funny. Can you hear me okay? Just give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me okay. Using a little different setup, have the cord set up. I'm Techno Tartar. Joey's the whiz bang guy. You know how I roll. But last year, the Mountaineers, number 14. We've talked about it. We had some way too back in even January, February, we were talking the Mountaineers should be top mid-tier. Maybe sniffing the top tier. Thanks, Jackson. So, Tim said to me before the show, I truly hope we are having a really good year this year. I believe if the Mountaineers can stay away from the injury bug, that'll help a lot. And who knows, the Mountaineers could end up in the Big 12 championship and possibly win it all. And I responded, I feel agreed, Tim. The Mountaineers, for the first time since Rich Rod, have depth. And they do. They do. So this preseason poll is the pundits, the writers get together and they say where they think teams are going to fall. I'm going to talk a little bit about another team that might have got snubbed that I think is not quite, but then we'll get into the West Virginia thing later in a minute or two. Just give me a second here. So what they have, I'm going to read through the list. This is the preseason poll. Of course, Utah is number one. Utah is number one, guys, with 20 votes. Okay, this is where I have some heartburn. They have K-State at number 2. I could see them at 3 or 4. But I think Oklahoma State and Kansas are better than Kansas State. Okay? Not to poo-poo our beloved Mountaineers, because you're going to have to fear the beard this year. That's for sure. You know, you got to fear that beard, because he's going to be doing lots of push-ups. That Mountaineer is going to be doing he's going to get thick and rugged from the score being in the 40s, the 30s every game. He's going to have to get thick and swole. He better start working out, doing burpees and up downs and stuff, getting ready for, the heat in that buckskin. me take a little sip here. Nothing like coffee at 7:05. Guys, so Kansas State, I think, is overrated. West Virginia is underrated. Kansas State is underrated. I think Kansas, if they're healthy. Now, I'm taking the, I'm taking the injury bug and putting it out the window. We know they have a quarterback that's a little bit suspect to getting, a little banged up. But take that out of the mix. I think Kansas is a better ball club. It's better coached than Kansas State. I think they're going to, guys, when West Virginia plays Kansas, it's going to be a nail biter. Okay. So they have Arizona at number 5. In what world is Arizona ahead of West Virginia? I have West Virginia at 5 or 6. And then Iowa State. Iowa State is at 6, okay? You can't have Iowa State in front of West Virginia. I don't see that. And maybe it's because I'm a Mountaineer guy. I'm a blue and gold guy. But come on, that's complete hogwash. What's Jackson Johnson say about it? I hope Kansas ends losing strength against Kansas State this year. They will. Jackson Johnson, they absolutely will. If Jalen Daniels is healthy, it's going to happen. Just like my grass gets greener after it rains. It's just going to, the way of the world. They're a better team. UCF at number 8. Now, guys, they are a sleeping giant. I've said this week in, week out. In 5 years, they have the alumni base. They have the money. They have the butts in the seats. They have the stadium. They have a good coach. They're going to be good, but they're not good this year. This isn't the year. I'm sorry, they're not. I can see them at number 8. That's a good place for them. Now the bottom half is Texas Tech at 9, TCU at 10, Colorado at 11, Baylor 12, BYU at 13, and the Bearcats in where West Virginia was last year. You're telling me that the Cincinnati Bearcats are as good as what the Mountaineers were last year? That's a slight. West Virginia was picked last year. Okay, and now they're in the middle of the pack. Well, they're 7th. Some people think it's not a bad place to be. Kind of under the radar. No one's picking. But if you're buying stock in a college program, buy. West Virginia stock is undervalued. It's only going to increase. We're going to talk a little bit about why the Mountaineers are on an uptrend. Kelly McCourt, welcome. Kelly, haven't seen you in a while. So Iowa should be 9th or 10th. Iowa State. Kelly. No. Yeah, B Bean. UCF is going to be good. They're going to be a decent team. They're going to compete in the Big 12. If I'd have said that a year ago, I'd have kicked my own ass. But B Bean, I might be drinking a little. Wait, what's in here? I think it's just coffee. Maybe a little crazy juice, huh? So, guys, if you're buying West Virginia on the upswing, I'm going to tell you why. But last year, West Virginia was the cellar dweller, and they went 9-3. Media couldn't see what was coming in 2023, and I don't see any better this year. Well, yeah, I agree. The media didn't see what was coming in 2023, but with a big but, there are 2 games that the Mountaineers should have won last year that they lost. They left those wins. That win column should have had 10 or 11 wins. The Houston game. what a load of crap. How the hell did they let that one get away from them? Then Oklahoma State. It's a 50-50 Oklahoma State. But, guys, West Virginia's on the upswing. I believe it. I was a glass half empty last year, and now I am a glass half full guy. So what sorry, Kelly, Iowa should be 9. Now, here's the thing, guys and gals. If you go Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Arizona, Iowa State, West Virginia, UCF, Texas Tech, TCU, all those can be pretty much interchanged, and they can fall, 2 through 12. You don't know what's going to happen. That's why they play ball, okay? Just like last year, West Virginia was 14, and they did about face. They kept the coach, stabilized the program. The kids are believing. I'm not trusting the climb. They're believing in the program. They're not climbing. They're building. They're at the mountaintop. They're building a cabin log by log with talent. Talent. This is the first time in years that they've had some depth. The Big 12 is definitely any given week conference, but West Virginia plays their game. They are in every game. That's just it. That's why Dion won those first 4 games at Colorado, because the kids believed they could win every game. And then they just took a big dump because of injuries, okay? 10 wins are likely. So what is the ceiling for the Mountaineers? What would be a good season, guys and gals? What do you think? Is it 11 wins? Is it 10 wins? Are you happy with a 9-win season where your 2 losses are in conference? I am a big fan of that. I'm selfish. Guys, I live in Western Pennsylvania. I want them to beat Penn State. I want them to beat Pitt. I do. I really, 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 really want them to beat those Pennsylvania schools. But, Penn State has, oh my gosh, they got a kid named Quentin Martin, who's a running back. He's a stud, and have some other kid. What puzzle his name? I'm trying to think. Corey Smith. These guys are, their man card was laminated as soon as they stopped pooping in diapers. Like 2 years old, they got their man card laminated because they're just thick and rugged. The Mountaineers have their hands full. Linebackers are going to have their hands full. Defensive line is going to have their hands full. And God forbid the cornerbacks have to tackle these monsters. Who is my team? I'm a Mountaineer fan. Yep. I'm a Mountaineer fan. So, B-Bean, West Virginia schedule, Penn State, Albany, at Pitt, Kansas, at Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Kansas State, Cincinnati. Yeah. I beat that schedule to death. I might put it up here. We'll talk about it real quick. I have a lot to cover. I want to take the kids to the drive-ins tonight, so we're going a little early. Got to put in some dad time. Go to the drive-in theaters. Still drive-in theaters in Western Pennsylvania. There's about 6 or 7. So let me see here. Let me see if I have the schedule up. I know I have it here. Just got to find it, kids. I'll put that rascal right up so y'all can see it. Okay, here it is. Boom. Penn State, August 31st. Of course, it's a Fox prime time noon game or some baloney. I want it to be a night game. I want to watch the Mountaineers play at night. Get all sweaty, drink a few sarsaparillas during the day, and then get chilly at night. Having my buzz come off, watching the Mountaineers lay a can of whoop ass on Penn State. That's what I want to see. But it's going to have to be at noon or 1 o'clock. Sorry. Bit of Albany, at Pitt. Kansas, of course. Kansas, that's guys, they're going to have a healthy quarterback. That's going to be Kansas. 4 games in, healthy on all cylinders. It's going to be rough. Penn State is going to be a test, but we're going to know how the season truly is going to go September 21st, ladies and gentlemen. And then, as you can see, at Oklahoma State, home at Iowa State, home against Kansas State, at Arizona. That's going to be tough, guys. The Desert Curse. That's what they say. At Cincinnati, that's a win. Baylor, UCF, at Texas Tech. That's tough. So, I want to see in the chat, do you guys want to see West Virginia in the playoffs, or would you rather see them beat the 2 Western Pennsylvania schools of Penn State and Pitt? I don't know. Probably better for the program. Charles Peterson says, if WVU improves at forcing turnovers and creates takeaways, the Mountaineers become a very dangerous team. Yeah, that plus-minus margin is big, and that was the difference in a couple games last year. So West Virginia going deep says, I see wins as a floor of 9. That would be good. 11 exceptional. I would say, yeah, 8 wins to 11. Yeah, unbeaten is unlikely, but possible. I would take a loss. I would take a loss to Penn State, and then they run the table. Did you hear me? I said I'd take a loss to Penn State if they run the table. So let's talk about the why. Why, Shane, are you buying imaginary stock in a team that you already paid tuition for? You've already bought season tickets, and you already bought a shitload of sweatshirts and T-shirts that clutter your closet with Mountaineer gear. Why is because there's been so much. I can't even get over the. You open, the Sports Illustrated or WVU Now and read these articles, and some of these articles just make your heart sing as a Mountaineer. I know that sounds really corny. I don't care. I'll break into song. I love to hear and see and read good things about the great state of West Virginia. West by God, Virginia. So one of the things that made me, and this might not relate to this year's team, but it makes sense. I used to play that college football EA Sports game eons and eons ago. Okay. I'm talking like 97, 96, 98. Okay. Before Pat White and Steve Slayton, which, ladies and gentlemen, made number 3 on the all-time greatest duos in college football history. Not 50 years history. And the two cats ahead of them, Tim Tebow, and then who else was the first? They were good guys. I should have had it pulled up, but I didn't think I was going to talk about it. But Google that; it'll make you happy thinking about old Steve Slayton and Pat White. Man, what a 1-2 punch! What a 1-2 punch! But so I'm going to share my screen here so you all can see this silliness that made me kind of just chuckle down in the tickles. Okay. It's 5 reasons why you should use the Mountaineers as your dynasty when you play EA Sports. And it's true for the game. And it's also true. There's an ounce of truth on why the Mountaineers are on the upswing. Why they're just a good program. Undervalued. Passionate fans. I've been to games I was looking at my list. Probably 12 different venues, guys. Division I venues. And the fans just, they literally feel every first down, every touchdown, every loss. There's not casual fans in attendance at the Mountaineer games. Everybody has some sort of interest in the Mountaineers. People don't understand how much better defense this year because Bazooka Burks, Trey Lathan, Keen Cutter, and Streak Carrico and the rest. Yeah, I'll tell you what. The defense, all we do is talk about the offense, and I'm going to touch a little bit on the defense here in a little bit. But this EA sports game, if you're playing dynasty mode, it's not fun if you take Oklahoma. It's not fun if you take Alabama and you build. They're already good. You want to recruit, build a program on that game, and just see it take off, and then you just bulldoze people because you have a good squad. Uniform options. I'm queer for the gear. I love the black uniform. Had people on the show not like it as much. Brian. I'm talking about you, brother. That's cool. I get it. You like the old school stuff. Sleeping Giant. Like I said, if you pick these other schools, it's not gonna be as rewarding to see it just the juggernaut gain momentum. And 783 wins, 15th most winningest program in college football. And you got a great starting foundation, rich tradition, and you won't hear country roads on it, but it will be really entertaining. So, a little lighthearted, tongue-in-cheek, EA Sports. Does it translate to the stock going up? Yes, it does. Why, Shane? Why? Why are the Mountaineers looking so good? So, who was that? Who was that gal that wrote this article? Maria Laysicker, USA Today. Okay? Maria Laysicker. Said there's 5. In her article, she said there's 5 players. She forgot one. I'm going to talk about this freshman that's under the radar. She brought up at number 1, Rodney Gallagher. We all know the story of Rodney. We know offensively he's a legitimate contributor. Okay, he's a good player. But in the springtime, Coach Brown putting on a couple different hats, kind of just figuring what the special recipe is. A little bit of MSG, a little bit of paprika, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, and a little bit of Gallagher the third at cornerback. Yeah, Rodney Gallagher the third. They had him in some nickel situation, and he did well. He looked good. Didn't look like a fish out of water flopping around. He looked pretty good there. So hopefully, the Mountaineers find a way to get the ball in his hands. And if it's on defense, so be it. Another kid that they mentioned was Traylon Ray. So I think he had 100 yards or maybe just shy of 100 yards during the Mayo Bowl. And one of them was like a big cut touchdown catch. It was well over 70 yards. So that was the first play of the game. It was like, touchdown. Everybody got excited. I got excited. I yelled. Wife was like, what's going on? You know how that rolls. So he has the, as they say it, the tangible skills to become an exceptional player. But we lost some key pieces. Hey, there's our man. How you doing? I can't hear you. Joey's going to fix his audio here.
Okay, now you hear me, right?
Oh, I hear you good now.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't realize he's going live at 7. I was thinking he's going live at 8. And
no,
then
I'm sorry.
Went
a little early. I'm taking the kids to the drive-in. Haven't taken them this year. Usually we go a lot more often. But
Cool.
I'm going through a list right now from an article from USA Today that Maria Leisiker did, and it was five players that are poised to have breakout year. And there's one that's missing. I'm going to add. We're on number 3. It's Jaquan Hubbard. So this guy has some big shoes to fill because Zach Frazier was the featured guy that everybody talked about, and I think that he might be able to fill or grow into those shoes. And I'm hoping that he's in line to get Big 12 honors and accolades. So I'm thinking he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with.
Well, yeah, it's not like our center coming in has never taken a snap, and he's just, I mean, we've got a good center backup for Zach.
Yeah.
Great last year. He's going to do a good job for us this year too. I'm excited about this year, and a lot of people, I see everybody talking about the secondary and things, and how Neil Brown has hit that portal, just doing a really good job. I mean, Neil Brown's doing a really good job recruiting, doing a really good job in the portal, doing a good job all the way around. I think this is what we wanted, right? This is what we wanted as Mountaineer fans, was to see us back on the recruiting, the top of the charts, right? Back near the top 25 recruiting classes. We wanted that back. We wanted to see that. I think we wanted to see us be able to go out and grab some people out of the portal. I think we wanted to see us be able to hold on to a team, because every year we've lost so many players to the portal because our NIL just wasn't in place, right? And we just couldn't hold these guys. And now with the NIL in place, everything doing good, we lost nobody. We didn't lose a single player that we wanted to keep.
Joe, you want to know why? You want to know one of the reasons why? And it's not like with Penn State, I said it was because of their ice cream. Well, in the Mountaineer land, it's not the pepperoni rolls. It's the fact that they won games last year.
Right. Yeah, well, that changes everything, right? That changes your outlook on a program. If you're there, you realize, oh wow, we can win here, and things. And then I'm really excited, man. I know a lot of people are putting us down, saying that we're not going to finish in the top. We'll be lucky to finish in the top 10. Some people are saying. A lot of people have us down around 7th or 8th. Well, I don't think that would be a bad pick in the Big 12 this year, because I think the top 8 or 9 teams in the Big 12 are all going to have pretty similar records and pretty close to being the same. I just feel like West Virginia is going to be up there in the top 3. I really do. I'm not saying they'll play for Big 12 championship, but I think they'll finish in the top 3 of this conference. Hope so. But anyway.
Yeah, Joey, I start off the show by talking a little bit about how underrated West Virginia is and how we got slighted last year, but yet we're number 7 this year. There are teams ahead of West Virginia that I think you could interchange West Virginia for. And, West Virginia football going deep is talking about the defense. Well, the last 2 players I have here are, one's a defensive lineman, Heyman Russell IV. Guys, I think he had 10 tackles and a sack last year, and I think he's on par to really have a good year this year. And then Tyreen Bradley is a linebacker that, if he plays well and against Penn State, can stop those 2 monsters that they have at running back. I think West Virginia will be in high alfalfa.
So you're saying we need to stop their 2 monsters at running back. They need to stop our 2 monsters at running back. And really, I would say they need to stop the 3-headed monster, because you throw Garrett Green in there and you got a whole different animal, right?
Preach.
So Drew Aller at Penn State, not known to be a big scrambler like Garrett Green is. He can get out of some trouble, but he's not going to be running the ball for 25, 30-yard gains like Garrett Green is. He's essentially a third running back that can also throw the ball. So I think it's going to be pleasant. I think there's people going to be pleasantly surprised this year how good West Virginia is going to be. It just reminds me so much of like a 2006 team. Coming in, we felt like it was going to be a good team, but 2000 we felt like we had a good team, and we turned out we had a great team, right? And
preach.
I feel like with this team's a lot like that. It's not maybe there's no Pat White, Steve Slayton, so to say, but
No.
there is Garrett Green and Jaheim White and C.J. Donaldson, and those guys are pretty daggone good. I know back then we had Owen Schmidt, Steve Slayton, and Pat White. That was pretty good tandem, right? You had the big bruiser and Owen Schmidt coming through there.
Did you see that they made the top 3 of all time of combos of duos?
Oh yeah, I tell you.
Yeah. Now speaking of Green, he went to a little passing academy called the Manning Passing Academy, and he was there's 40 quarterbacks, and he was one of the top 5 guys. And I'm going to mention some of the names that were in the conversation with our beloved quarterback Garrett Green.
Okay.
Riley Leonard, was one of the guys that performed pretty good. Was good. Cade Klubnik from Clemson, of course. Garrett Green has some nice big long throws. Garrett Nussmeier, and then of course a kid from Texas A&M, Connor Wigman. So those are the names that were tossed out there as the high flyers, the performers, the guys that really looked sharp at this passing academy. And Neil Brown has said he has really improved what WV football going deep has here. He's much better, has improved his passing. So right. I'm hoping it translates to the game, but we will soon find out.
He wasn't bad last year as a passer, but he was just he wasn't consistent, right? I mean, right? He could throw a ball pretty good, but it wasn't nothing for him to underthrow it or overthrow it either. But you could tell he had a good arm. He has good range. It was just getting his precision down, and I feel like that he's worked on that all year. And I know a lot of people are talking about how he is spot on now with his throws and doing a really good job. So that might be another dimension that we can add on. That, by the way, we've got some pretty good receivers in there. You think Hudson Clement, Preston Fox. I mean, and Rodney Gallagher. Those 3 guys ought to set it on fire this year. They really should. I think it's going to be a big year for those guys, all 3 of them.
So I gave my 5, or the 5 that the article had from USA Today, but they're forgetting one name, and it's not C.J. Donaldson, which he's up here. He's a stud for the Mountaineers, or Jaheim White. It's Rick Darius Farmer. He's a wide receiver. I think he's a freshman. Man, he's fast. If he can make some plays to get into open space, it's like it's going to be lights out. And I think
that his highlight film was a lot like Tavon's highlight film of high school.
Yes, sir. That's it. That's him. Yeah. So he's that guy. So in 2022 we had CJ. Okay, he just came out of freaking nowhere. Boom. Who is this man among boys? Okay. Yeah. And then 2023, CJ got a little dinged up. Jaheim White came in. It was like, whoa, went from thunder to lightning. And now on the receiving core, we have some decent receivers. But this guy, I don't know if they're going to have him at slot at the 1, but I'd like to see him get some touches.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'd like to see that too. I want to see. Well, I like seeing the freshmen, but I like seeing the walk-ons do good too. That's like I can't get over Preston Fox and how good he's done as a walk-on. Now he's earned his scholarship. Hey, you know what? Those guys, to me, that just means a lot. Did you watch 3 Guys for the Game the other day with Brian Joswiak on it? And of course, Brian comes on our show quite often, and we talk about that all the time, the dedication and the hard work it takes, to be a football player on the Mountaineer football program. And he talks about how Don Nealon would tell him, you're straining and you're crying because you're having to run these things, but look at these kids up here at the Children's Hospital and what they're going through. You ain't going through nothing compared to what they're going through, and make them work harder. And it just instilled something in Joswiak to where, he still does things for those kids today.
Yeah.
Here we are 38 years later. He's still doing the golf tournament. All the money's going to the Children's Hospital. That was this weekend. They're going bowling tonight, and all that money is going to go to trying to start a campaign to get Daryl Talley into the NFL Hall of Fame, right? And where he deserves to be. That's kicking off tonight, guys, by the way.
You know, that with Talley, that's a shame. If those Bills would have won one of those 4 Super Bowls, his butt would be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But if you're a younger guy or gal and you don't understand, Daryl Talley was with the Bills when they went to 4. Okay, guys, not 4 out of 5 years, 4 years in a bloody row. They won the AFC and went to the Super Bowl. So he was on those squads, and he was a monster to play.
Yeah, it was a monster, and now there were some good players on that team. There was a lot of
Reed, Thurman Thomas. I mean, just studs. Jim Kelly,
and a lot of them are in the NFL
in the Hall of Fame. Yes, absolutely.
But I feel like Daryl Talley. So that's launching tonight to try to get Daryl Talley into the Hall of Fame. So everybody, we need to start keeping an eye on that and help make that push to get Daryl Talley in the NFL Hall of Fame. I know Daryl will appreciate that from everyone.
Absolutely. So
we'll have Daryl on the show again. We had Daryl on the show here a couple weeks ago. So Daryl will be back.
Mm-hmm. But so I just can't get over that we're having this conversation a year removed from last year. Even at number 7, you have Locked On Big 12. You had a Baylor show. I'll basically say the same thing, that, I think they have West Virginia a little bit low. Guys, this isn't news. This isn't breaking news, Joey and me saying, well, West Virginia is a sleeper. Everybody knows that West Virginia is better than number 7 on the list. So don't be surprised.
Their hesitation is not with the team and the talent, it's with the coach, right? They don't know yet. He's had one good year out of 5. So now we've got to, we've got to have another great year. And if we have another great year, I think the doubters of Neil Brown will be gone. And West Virginia can finally start getting some respect again. So I think that, because I know I have faith in Neil Brown. I think he's going to show out this year, and people are going to see he's a pretty damn good coach. So.
No, that the time he spent at Troy, he had some banger wins. I mean, this isn't like this is David and Goliath type wins. Appalachian State and Michigan type of wins. I mean, big time. And I think he's gonna, guys, if he hauls off August 31st and knocks out Penn State, I might get arrested for running around my neighborhood naked. Okay.
Now that's a tall task too. Now let's just, I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but yeah, we do want a victory at Penn State. Right. We do want, or not at Penn State, but we want a victory in Morgantown against Penn State. And what better opportunity we have? We've got a great team returning. They got momentum. They finished off with momentum last year, right? So they got momentum going into this game. They've got a lot of players that have all spent a lot of years together on that program and know what each other are going to do. So they are an actual team. They're not a Colorado, right? They don't have good players. They've got a bunch of good players that have worked together and know what they're doing. So I really believe West Virginia is going to have a fantastic year. I can easily see 10-2. I could easily see 11-1. Do I see 12-0? No, because the schedule is just so tough. I see more 10-2 just simply because the schedule is so tough. I think if some of those games were broken up a little bit, we'd probably be okay. But my goodness, man, when you got Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Iowa State all in a row, that's a gauntlet. That's gonna be tough. So.
Yeah, I would like to have seen them maybe over a period of 5 years play Pitt and Penn State, but not in the same season.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 11 Power Fives is always hard. Yeah, and West Virginia seems to do it all the time. And we play 11 Power Fives, and then everybody says, well, you're a dumpster fire of a program. You can't win but 8 or 9 games. Well, we can't win but 8 or 9 games, but we're playing 11 Power Fives. How many did your team play last year? A
Right, and
lot of them. A lot of them were 9 or 10.
they schedule this, they schedule this when Penn State was not doing quite as well as they are now, but
Right.
it's still a big program that when you put it on the calendar, you're just taking that chance that they're just going to be fantastic. I wish, and I've said this before, I wish they would have played them in the aughts when West Virginia was a juggernaut and could have gave them a bloody nose year in and year out. But now,
Yeah.
but wish in one hand and crap in the other and clap, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So Joey, so starting in August, are we going to do a show on Mondays or are we going to do a show on Tuesdays? What's going to happen here?
So I am looking for a host for a Tuesday night show. So anybody out there that knows of a host that's looking for a place or would like to host a show themselves can get in touch with me. Footballnewshour@gmail.com is my email, and reach out to me and we can discuss that because I do want to get a show going on Tuesday. We've got Thursdays that we just pretty much cover Big 12 news, right? So when the football season starts up, one thing that I'm going to do is we're going to do a Sunday show, probably in the middle of the day, where we just come on and we're going to talk scores and box scores, tell me how many yards the team had, offense, defense, production, things like that, and move on. We're just going to touch on all the games, all the big games, and we'll do that on Sundays for an hour or two every Sunday. And then Monday night's going to continue to be the trivia. I enjoy the trivia. It's a good breakup. A lot of people enjoy it. Come out and win some prizes. Tuesday, there's like I say, I'm gonna try to get a new thing going. Wednesday's Mountaineer locker room with Frank. Of course, Thursday's our Big 12 show, and Friday's your show. So, I do want to do something on Tuesday. I'd like to find another host, and it'd be a lot of fun to play.
So Wednesdays I do the Steelers Dynasty podcast, and then on Friday nights the Triple B Experience, where we talk about pop culture and wrestling with former wrestler and current owner of APWSF Wrestling, Bad Bubba Brewer. Steelers Dynasty, of course, we talk about the Steelers. But thank you, Jackson Johnson. And Jackson also has Joey Foster's information there.
Yeah, he's got my email in there, footballnewshour@gmail.com. Appreciate that, Jackson. Yeah, so if anybody would know of anybody that maybe is looking for to start a YouTube channel or maybe looking for a platform to come on, and they're good, they know what you're talking about, give me a call. But we want them to be good and know what they're talking about and do their homework. That's real important. Anybody that would like to do it, though, I'd love to have you, man. Get this channel full of shows and different personalities, right? Because look, I enjoy watching a few people and stuff and things. But if they had different people on their network that I could choose from, maybe I just want to watch one certain person and not watch the others, or maybe I want to watch them all. But we want to give you a variety here, covering West Virginia football to its fullest in its finest. Okay.
Well, Joey, next Thursday, I thought we could try to get my friend Joe Hart. He had a previous engagement, but maybe get a Pitt fan on.
Right, we got to finish our crossover. Right, we got to finish our crossover show Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night we will cover Pitt. We didn't do the crossover show this Thursday. We always do it at 8:00. But I know a lot of people were going to be with their families. They're cooking out. They're setting off fireworks. I didn't want to bother you guys, so we didn't do a show last night. But we will be back next Thursday for the crossover show, and looking forward to that. I enjoy the crossover shows. I think they're a lot of fun. We sat there and we talked last week to Tim Aiden from Penn State, Black Shoe Diaries, talking about Penn State's rivalry with West Virginia Pitt. And, of course, found out Penn State is unrivaled. They do not have any rivalries, according to them.
No, they don't.
So, so next week we're going to talk to Pitt. and we'll get their side of things. Good little
But
rivalry.
Joey, I don't think he's talking about football. I think he's talking about ice cream.
Ah, it's talking about ice cream unrivaled and ice cream.
Yeah, their Penn State Creamery is unrivaled, but their football team is. If you're a team called Ohio State
Oh yeah,
or Michigan, just saying, because they've won national championships a lot more recently than Penn State has. So it's a touchy subject. You don't want to be telling Penn
makes
State
you
fans.
wonder if Joe Paul was still there, how much would they be winning? Man, he was a good coach. Say what you want to about him. Joe Paul was a good football coach.
Yeah, we talked about that. And
Mm-hmm.
what'd you think of old Harris when he was at Pitt?
Walt Harris.
Johnny Majors, Walt Harris and Johnny Majors.
Well, yeah, I didn't think much would be the one of them. So Walt Harris, poor old Walt Harris. My wife loved him. Absolutely loved Walt Harris. First
Yeah.
time she seen him on the sideline, she's like, "Oh, I feel so bad for him. He looks like he's going to cry because West Virginia was beating him pretty bad." And he literally did look like he was going to cry on the sidelines. And I said, "I believe you're right, you bet. I think he is going to cry." She said, "I believe he is crying, Joey. Tell me to quit picking on that man." And she fell in love with Walt Harris, but he didn't last long there at Pitt. Johnny Major's the same way. I never thought much about him as a coach or as anything, really, to be honest with
Yeah, and they came back that second time and really took a dump. The program. They went from the cellar to the down into the trenches. They're terrible. But Joey, that's all I have for tonight. I wanted to thank you for popping on, and I missed you, buddy. I tell you, it's been a minute. So,
you.
guys, you can see Joey and me every Thursday at 8 p.m. on the Big 12 show, and then I'm going to be on the Friday show, usually at 8. We're an hour early. I apologize. Go to the drive-in with the kids. And trivia on Mondays, is that at 8 or is it 10:30?
It's
Eastern Standard
10:30.
Time.
Right. Now, we
10:30
are talking about moving that time or maybe even moving the show. I haven't decided yet, but I may move it to another night. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, it's just with college football season coming up here real soon, I might leave it on Monday nights just simply because Monday nights kind of seems to be the best night to do it, even when college football season's in. So we'll see. We'll figure it out though.
And ladies and gentlemen, next Thursday, I will be broadcasting from Corvallis, Oregon, home of Oregon State. And I'll also be doing some stuff in Eugene, checking those places out. But love to see you. Love to talk to
Hey,
you.
you need to get you a shirt that says Mountain West Conference and just get you a big old Oregon State thing put on there and just put Mountain West Conference on there.
Oh man, I feel bad because that town reminds me of a Morgantown on the West Coast.
Yeah,
Corvallis. It's just same vibe, man. Same vibe. Stadium it's like they remodeled up. It's a cool stadium. It's just fantastic, and it's right in the middle of town, right in the smack dab. Kind of like when Mountaineer Field was right in the middle of town. But hey, thanks Gutter Pub. Thanks Kelly.
we say gutters. All right, man. Well,
You have a good one. I'm thinking of what I'm thinking what I'm going to play when we end the show. What are you thinking, Joey? How about your jam? Can we use your Thursday night jam, or what are you thinking?
I don't care. You use whatever you want to, man.
And I'll tell you what, Joey. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey is the editor extraordinaire. He comes up with the best stuff. I'm gonna have to find it here. Okay.
The crossover is that's
Crossover.
night.
Yeah, that's a good one. But guys, thanks for tuning in. We had a lot of people in the chat. Guys, I'm not a journalist. I just try to entertain. I read to you what sparks my interest, what makes me happy, and I hope I make you happy. And I hope that Penn State, Pitt, and all the rest of the jabronis in the Big 12 fear the beard this year, and we just whoop ass, kick-ass take names, and we get in the college football playoffs. Joey, do you have anything else?
Boom. No, that's
Boom.
it. Boom. Sounds good, brother.